This is me at 25+% body fat, and this is me at around 14% body fat. I'm currently shredding for another professional bodybuilding show, and in this video, I'm gonna go over my top 5 tips on how I get shredded.
It's game time and I'm up one. Name something I ain't done. Name a body that's my type. Air Jordan, I'll take flight. I'm next level, I'm franchise.
To our winner, Julia Renee.
Okay, my loves, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm gonna go over my top 5 diet hacks, which is perfect because we are shredding. I'm starting to get hungrier, so these tips are not only for me, but they're for you as well. So the first tip is about cardio. And you know what the tip is? Add some cardio. So there's a common misconception that you have to do cardio if you're gonna lose weight. I know a lot of people will do a crap ton of cardio and they will do sprints. They'll go for an excessive amount of time without even watching their diet. First and foremost, your diet needs to be in check before you start adding in cardio. I like to have cardio year round. So if you do choose to do cardio in your cutting, then you can actually have higher calories because you're burning more calories because you're being physical. Also, if you're adding cardio in season or off season, you're gonna actually increase your capacity to handle more weight in the gym because you're actually gonna have the cardiovascular health to lift weights. So think about doing 3 sets of 8 for a squat when you have no cardio in your routine. How challenging is that and how winded are you going to be? Versus if you do have cardio in your routine, you're gonna go through that 3 sets of 8, it's gonna be no problem. Okay guys, tip number 2 is actually track what you're consuming. So you guys always see me with my little baby scale tracking my food. I do this in season and in off season because if you're trying to be in a caloric deficit, and you need to be in a caloric deficit if you're wanting to lose weight, you have to know what you're consuming. A lot of people, I get a lot of DMs about people who are like, I'm not losing weight. I'm like, well, do you know how much you're eating? And they're like, no. You gotta know how much you're eating of something so that you know if you're in a caloric deficit. Another thing to consider with measuring calories is that there is a ton of hidden calories and things that people don't think. One of the most common ones that I think is like salad dressings. So when you're trying to be healthy, like I'll just eat a bunch of salads. There's so many calories in most of the dressings, it's crazy. And then you've taken something that's supposed to be healthy and you've added a bunch of unnecessary calories to it. But I'm actually gonna go to the grocery store later and I'm gonna show you some of these swaps that we can make that are super simple, that'll reduce the calories, but still keep you fuller for longer. Tip number 3, get your protein in. Whether it's protein powder or whole protein, whichever one floats your goat. A lot of people who struggle to get protein in really do opt for protein powder because it's just so much easier for you to eat. You can just mix it in with anything else. But if you are on a cut and you are getting pretty hungry, which tends to happen, like that's happening to me right now, I swap my protein powder for whole foods. So instead of having like 25 grams of protein powder, I'll have 100 grams of white fish so that I stay fuller for longer. A good rule of thumb for protein is about 1 gram per pound of body weight. So basically, if you weigh 145 pounds, you're gonna have 145 grams of protein a day. I know that can seem like really daunting if you're not used to having a lot of protein. There's definitely ways for you to get protein in so that it's a little bit easier. One thing that I did when I was first starting out and I was struggling to get my protein in, I would do protein powder, I would mix some oats in it, I would do berries, a tablespoon of peanut butter. So now you're getting your protein in, you're getting carbs, you're getting fats, and it's easy to drink. Protons. I got my brekkie. So hungry, guys. This couldn't have came at a better time to like talk about this stuff because obviously like I'm shredding and I'm starting to get so hungry. Like as soon as I'm waking up in the morning, my stomach is already growling, which when I know that that's happening, I'm like, girl, she's hungry. Another thing that I wanted to mention too, along the lines of protein, if you keep your protein high and you use the rule of thumb of like about 1 gram per pound of body weight, then you're actually gonna be satiated for longer. That's why I told you at a certain point in my prep, I swapped to whole proteins because it actually has a higher thermic effect. So it takes a lot longer for you to digest it, keeping you fuller for longer. I'm like I have my 7-Eleven coffee. Ew, I have a hair in my mouth. This is a regular occurrence. I'm the kind of person that if it's like scorching hot, I won't wait until it gets cold.
I'm that same person.
No, I literally just continue to burn my mouth. And then later in the day, I'm like, why is my tongue numb? Keeps doing it. Ouch. Okay, so I was talking to Ian about this earlier, and I was like, I want to give you guys like educational content and stuff that you can actually learn from, but I also want to still keep the whole prep journey alive. I know you guys love it so much and I love it so much. So I want to make sure that when I'm doing these types of videos that are educational, that I'm still giving you prep updates. So I feel like the last time that I talked to you guys, we had like a high carb week. If I didn't talk about it, I had a high carb week. So that's what happened. So my coach was going through this zigzag approach, basically with a high carb week, low carb week, high carb week, low carb week. So at a point when you're cutting, there's a point where your body doesn't want to get past, especially for bodybuilding, your body doesn't want to get past a certain point or a certain weight because it's not supposed to. So there'll be basically like barriers that you have to break through in bodybuilding. And I always have those barriers at like certain weight points and certain physiques that I have where my body just will fight back. And sometimes you have to do something that's like drastic to kind of kick it into high gear, and it could be drastic in a way of having a high carb week. So that's what coach did, and the high carb week worked perfectly. I didn't gain weight at all, which is incredible because usually you think like if I'm gonna eat more calories, like I'll gain weight. My body remained the same, my physique changed, my abs came in actually tighter, and coach was like, this is great, cool. So now what we're going to do is go back to the zigzag approach of going back to a low carb week. So this week has been a lower carb week, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I'm definitely not as strong. Like I'm still like lifting really heavy in comparison to like normal people. So like when I'm saying this, it's like strong for me would be like 5+ plates on a hip thrust. And then this week I was only able to do 4. It's like, boo, poor me. But that's normal. So that was the update. I just finished my low carb week and I checked in with my coach this morning. My stomach is looking tighter. One thing that I notice is that my belly button starts to come out. So like it comes from a innie and it goes into like an outie, and I have like this like ring that'll go around my stomach of like skin. It's so weird. I'll show it to you on my next check-in day, but that's my cue that like I'm losing body fat. But what's weird is I'm losing body fat in different places than I ever have before. Like this go around, my stomach is losing it. It's like I'm losing weight from the inside out. So I'm losing weight on my stomach, and then everything that's on the outside is losing it last. So like the last year, which it was the complete opposite. I lost weight from the outside in, meaning like my arms, my legs, and then last thing was my stomach. So it's so weird. Every time that you lose weight, it's going to be slightly different because every time you gain body fat, you might gain it back in different spots. So that's the update. I am praying that he has me do a high carb week next week. I have a feeling he's not going to, because I ended up being 2.5 pounds lighter this week. So I lost 2.5 pounds from doing that low carb week. So I have a feeling he's gonna do it again because it worked. And I'm like, dang it. But that's the whole point of doing this. So we're gonna go into the grocery store. I'm gonna get my groceries, and I'm also gonna show you guys some healthy swaps that you can make when you are on a cut that you might not know about. So one thing that you can do is fill up on low calorie vegetables. So I always get these and I'll add them to my meals so that I stay fuller for longer. Basically, any vegetable that's green tends to be lower in calorie than like carrots or something like that. Also, you can see with the dressings over here, I'll bring them over in a second. This dressing, it's 100 calories for 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons when you could get something that's a little bit lower calorie and add more toppings on it instead. This, for example, for 2 tablespoons, it's 50 calories. It's Greek yogurt based and has a good flavor. I've tried it before and I love this one. Okay, another swap that you can make from fatty meats like salmon or beef is whitefish. This is why you can use tilapia, you can use shrimp. This doesn't mean that you can't eat any of the beef, salmon, and all of those things, but if you want to lower your calories and fat, making these swaps can be a way to do that. A couple swaps that you can make for traditional bread is either the higher protein Dave's Killer bread, or you can do a lower calorie Sara Lee Delight bread, which is only 45 calories a slice. Ugh, caught it. Okay, another swap that you can make, regular peanut butter, PB2. For regular peanut butter, 2 tablespoons is 200 calories versus 2 tablespoons of PB2, 60 calories. So you can have triple the amount. I don't even know if that's correct, but you can have way more than you can of peanut butter. Another thing that adds on a crap ton of calories without people noticing is condiments. Of course, we love our sauces, but there are some options that you can do to make your food taste a little better versus this. Southern Mississippi sauce, 2 tablespoons, 140 calories. G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce, 2 tablespoons, 10 calories. Do I even have to say anymore? Ice cream. Okay, you guys know I love Ben & Jerry's more than anything, and after my show, I'm gonna be going hard on it, but 1 container is 1,222 calories. So when you're on a cut, obviously, you can't be having one of these every single day unless that's gonna be more than half of your calories for the day. So a healthy option to switch, Halo Top, 300 calories per pint. Or you can make your own protein ice cream at home. Scoop of protein powder, some berries, some ice, and add a little bit of xanthan gum to make it thicker. You got a crap ton of protein ice cream. Okay, if you're somebody that loves to drink soda every day, switch to these. 0 calorie, they taste amazing. I also got some sugar-free root beer here too. There's gonna be people that are like, but all of the sugar is in the... Would you rather have some of the artificial sugars or not reach your goals? Older people go to the grocery store in the morning, which I respect because I am basically one of them. I have the personality of a little old lady. Ugh. It's hot. Whose idea was it to wear a sweater in the summer? How does it feel to be the star of the YouTube channel? It feels pretty cool, right? So cool. Vision, little update on Vision. He's still a little diamond, still a little terror, still the cutest thing. Obviously, we're boring him to tears. And then Reese, on the other hand, our little old man dog, he went to the vet yesterday because he needed to get his teeth cleaned. And then they took like these little bumps that he had on his head, and he has like little stitches. I don't know if you could see them. It might be kind of weird for you guys to see, but he has a little stitch on his head. So Vision has had to be like really gentle with him. Usually Vision's like, what's up, bro? Let's play. And he's been like, so he doesn't want to play. But I was so worried about him last night because he was on the bed and I like picked him up to put him on the bed, and then he like half laid down and he just stayed there. And he didn't fully lay down. He was just like, it was so weird. But hopefully it'll get better. But we're back from the grocery store, got all my things for the week. I am kind of praying that Coach doesn't add anything new to my meal plan that I didn't have on my grocery list. Usually I go shopping on Fridays, but I wanted to make this video for you guys, so there's a chance I might have to go back once I get my check-in with my coach. But I wanted to talk about the last and final tip, and honestly, this one feels like it's the most important, and it's basically take your time losing weight. You guys have seen me prepping for this show. We started in April, May, June. April, May, June, July. Yes, I count on my fingers. April, May, June, July, August. We're on month 5 of my weight loss journey. This is why you see, obviously for me, it's taken a little bit longer than like the average person, but that's besides the point. But every time I've prepped, I've minimum given myself 4 months to get into shape. A lot of people will try and be like, I'm gonna get shredded in 1 month. I have this date, I have this wedding, you know, I have a photo shoot. I'm gonna try and get as shredded as I can in 1 month. And the quicker that you lose weight, the harder that it is to keep it off. So doing it slow, sustainable, it's always gonna be a way better option than trying to go super fast. And then once you lose that weight, you're like, what do I do? And then you start eating a bunch of food, you stop working out, and you end up gaining it all back. This is why a lot of Americans yo-yo diet, because they try to do it so extreme. A good rule of thumb is about 0.5 to 1 pound losing a week. That is unbelievably great. I have a bunch of coaching clients and they'll lose like 0.5 pounds or like a pound a week, and they're like, it's not fast enough. And I'm like, oh my God, that is actually amazing. So if that is helpful for you guys, I really hope it is. These are some things that I've learned along the way, and the only reason I've learned them is because I've done the complete opposite and I've done every which way to do it wrong. So make sure you're subscribed because we're on the road to 100K. And in the next video, I will do another update on prep because there's something that I need to tell you guys and I just don't know how. So, as always, I love you all so much and you're more powerful than you think. Bye.